Now, to get a closer look at late Morsi's legacy and Egypt's future, I'm joined by Egypt's former Minister of Investment, Yahia Hamed, who served in Mohamed Morsi's cabinet. Hello, Yahia. Thanks for joining me on Straight Talk. You worked directly with Mohamed Morsi in his cabinet. You knew his character, you knew him personally, you knew how he worked. So what went through your mind when you heard the news of his death and the circumstances it happened?
It was a very hard moment, getting a call from his son and my friend Abdullah, telling me, "Have you heard the news?" I said, "No, I have been abroad." And he said the news saying that my dad is dead, and all the memory just came in few seconds to my mind. How great the man is! How we are going to lose a leader that I always say this is the most honorable thing that happened to me, that I came to know Dr. Morsi, to be very close to him during this very important and unique time of Egypt's history. We have lost a man that had a real vision to his country, that was very close to the people, that have always felt he's one of them. He has never felt lofty or arrogant in any way. So I felt that those bad guys that Sisi represents, those, as you say, probably in Turkish, hainler, those people are really after not only Morsi, but after the spirit of the revolution. They wanted to kill it. I saw that what happened to Dr. Morsi is an intended slow killing.
So you believe is the state somehow culpable for him reaching this point?
Absolutely. For more than 6 years, almost 6 years, Dr. Morsi has been kept in a solitary confinement all the day, not being able to see his family for 6 years, except for few minutes, 3 times only. Deprived from medication while he suffers diabetes, deprived of seeing his legal team. President Morsi, in many times in the sessions where he were given few minutes or few seconds to talk, he said that his life is in danger. Last year, an independent committee led by Crispin Blunt, an MB in the UK, they formed a committee to review the status of Dr. Morsi. They came out with a report saying that his life is in danger. And if it kept the same way it is, he will be facing immature death.
So do you believe is his death part of a broader persecution on the Muslim Brotherhood?
It's not the Muslim Brotherhood, Aisha, let me tell you. The battle that we have in the region, the kind of two camps really trying to achieve their goals, it's not between the Islamists and the states, the deep state in Egypt. It's between those who have really dreamt of democracy, of rule of law, we are having more than 60% of Egypt under poverty line.
They live on less than $50 a month, right?
Exactly, $1.9 a day. Can you imagine?
So,
60% of people. So when those people, the middle class, wanted really to achieve something for the coming generations, those oligarchy said, no, you are not allowed to do this. Egypt has been under the military rule since 1950s. And look where Egypt is now.
Do you believe the revolution is stolen? And what's next for Egypt democracy?
What we have learned from history is that it's waves. What we saw on Besh Tammuz, 15th of July here, was an accumulation of historical lessons that the people got. They didn't want to go back to the old time of oppression. This is what Egyptians now we are learning. Probably we needed to be in an easier way, but probably we are learning in the tough way. So if you say that this wave of the revolution has been suppressed from the ally of Saudi, Emirates, Trump, Israel, Sisi, I would say, in a way, it was suppressed, but it's not the end of the people seek for real democracy and freedom. Only few weeks ago, there were small demonstrations here and there in Egypt because of secondary school exam. It's a secondary thing. But it was led by people who are 18 and 19 years old. Those people were only 10 years old when the revolution of 2011 was there.
So yeah, the outpouring of support from countries like Turkey seems to have rattled some in Egypt. Why was Morsi so popular, especially in countries like Turkey?
Because Turkey has come to democracy after years of military rule. This is how I see it. Turkey, the whole people, by the way, and the good thing is that it's not only coming from President Erdogan, it's coming also from the opposition. It's coming from all over the place in Turkey, that what happened in Egypt is a military coup d'etat, that we want democracy in Egypt, that Mohamed Morsi was killed slowly in his cage. Turkey is very close, by the way, historically to the Egyptian people. Years and years of common historical background. And Turkey was hoping in 2011 that it has this spirit of democracy everywhere. And look, who is opposing this tone of voice of Turkey calling for democracy in the region? It's the same way, it's the same people that killed Jamal Khashoggi in Istanbul. They are the same people who are keeping the human rights activists in Saudi Arabia, in Emirates, in Egypt, where we have more than 60,000 political prisoners from all ideological backgrounds.
You're pointing to the same circles. So do you agree there was a window of opportunity between Turkey and Egypt to set up better relations when Morsi became president, and now that opportunity is completely lost because of the relations between Turkey and Egypt?
It's not that it's because of Morsi, it's because of the people, because of the window of democracy that was opened. You cannot build 100% relation with a regime that is fundamentally against you. A regime that is calling, for example, look what Sisi has done to our sea borders in the street. He gave part of our lands to Cyprus, to Greece, in order to drill for oil.
And this is also against Turkey's
And this is also
claims,
against Turkey. So it's an ally. I hope one day, definitely, that Turkey and Egypt becomes very close. But in order to bring this, we need to see it on a larger scale. Who have helped in order to deteriorate the currency of Turkey many times? I mean, fingers have been given to a lot of people in the Gulf.
What about the Western governments? They were very supportive of Morsi during the revolution, and they were very supportive of the elections in Egypt. But then they swiftly abandoned Morsi, and instead they supported the guy who overthrew him. And can you speak on why there's this deafening silence in the Western part?
Let's take a look on how they supported Mubarak regime. And then when the revolution came and won, it was only then that they started speaking very positive about the revolution. They are very, Machiavellian people, very pragmatic people. And they wanted people who follow their agenda. This is very important. I've always believed that some of the Western powers like to see weak governments that always depend on them, not on the people. The moment you depend on the people and you understand that your legitimacy is coming from your own people, it gives you power. You will never give concessions for them for free.
So Sisi is fully dependent on Western powers?
100%.
So
and look
do you
what happened in
believe
Sinai.
he is all stable, he is all safe, or is his rule... could we some challenges to his rule in the coming future? Because I think he can stay as president until 2030.
In 2010, let's say October, November 2010, if you ask anyone in the world how long Mubarak will stay, he would tell you he's staying for another decade and then he's passing the rule for his son. And it was only weeks away from the revolution. Our region is very much in instability period. All scenarios are there. From one angle, he is doing a very big oppression on the people, which shows that he is strong. From another angle, he's very weak, fearing to have only commemoration, only proper burying for Dr. Morsi, and having only 7 people from his family, sons and daughter, and his wife to pray over him. And the signals, you can see it from 2 ways. I believe that the Egyptian people and the revolution is not dead. We are living in a very bad chapter of Egypt's history, that we all hope that the sacrifice that Dr. Morsi did, that the sacrifice of hundreds of thousands of people have been doing since 2011 and before that will bring light at the end of the tunnel.
Yahia Hamed, thanks for joining me on Straight Talk.